Hello and welcome. My name is Karan Mathur and today we will be talking about SUVs that were ahead of their time but failed to make an impression. Now, the SUV segment in pretty much every country in the world is booming, and that's especially true here in India. According to the Society of Indian Automobile Manufacturers, the sales of SUV have doubled in less than a decade. The sales growth in 2018 outranked every other type of passenger vehicles, including motorcycles and scooters. In fact, the sales of SUVs were so high, they were 7 times than that of regular passenger vehicles. So naturally, with every automobile manufacturer wanting a piece of that pie, since day one, there were a few hits and misses. So today, we'll be talking about 5 SUVs that completely missed their mark and sank into automotive oblivion. The time was 1991, and India was just beginning to bear the sweet fruit of economic liberalization. Tata envisioned that the Indian customers were ready for a taste of home-cooked SUV goodness and a sprinkle of fancy gadgetry. The Tata Sierra was launched to mixed reactions. It was completely thought up and developed in India, and it had a unique design, that caught fancy of many, but the hearts of just a few. It came with a 2-liter turbo diesel engine that developed 68 bhp and 110 Newton meters of torque. And it was loaded with tech too, but that was hardly a priority for any at the time. It came with power windows, power steering, and even a tachometer. And that was a first for any car in this country. Sadly, the Sierra was a niche product and it failed to generate the kind of volume that Tata had hoped for a country on the rise. Now the Invader. That is a classic example of an SUV that was launched ahead of its time. It was built on the commercially popular Bolero platform and style, while using the same exact philosophy of a lifestyle vehicle that the Thar uses today. It was meant to take you to the beaches of Goa, the sand dunes of Rajasthan, and even pack in a dozen friends on the way to the movie theatre. It was built to steal the thunder from the Maruti Suzuki Gypsy, the vehicle of choice for the adventurous urban youth of that time. It came with a 2.5-liter diesel engine that made 63 bhp and 177 Newton meters of torque. With that much power on tap, it had a clear advantage over the Maruti Suzuki Gypsy. But the audience just wasn't ready to trade in their gasoline-powered vehicles for a diesel, and that too for recreational use. In its entire lifespan of 9 years, it just couldn't make a mark and couldn't find a place for itself in our market. They say enemy of innovation is monopoly, and in the early 2000s, Maruti Suzuki was on a high, and it was at the top of automotive food chain. It was clinking the champagne glass of success, and its demand exceeded its supply. The company had enjoyed being the king of the automotive segment for far too long. So, failing to immediately notice the change in customers' tastes and a barrage of incoming SUVs from its competitors, so that drove Maruti to chalk up a hasty plan and begin selling the Maruti Suzuki Grand Vitara XL7 in our market. In a country which thought twice before opting for the AC option, we got the car as a completely built-up unit from Japan. The car wasn't even displayed on showroom floors. The company sent out personal invites for its customers to view and test drive the vehicle. Even though it had all the bells and whistles like an all-aluminium 2.3-liter V6 making in excess of 150 bhp, ABS, EBD, a well-appointed cabin, luxury like automatic climate control. Alas, as Maruti will come to know in the future as well, a familiar name and luxury appointments just weren't enough to convince buyers to shell out 15 lakhs for the base price of a car from Maruti Suzuki. The car that was loved and known around the world as the Subaru Forester came to us with the golden row at the front and back. It was the first steps of GM India into our market and the first car to be bestowed with the Chevrolet badge. It even laid the foundations for the premium SUV market that we know and love today. It had all the makings of a great luxury utilitarian car for a country with as many utilitarian needs and riches as we do. It had a modern, smart-looking cabin, leather upholstery, a sweet 2-liter boxer engine, self-leveling suspension, and an all-wheel drive system with rally pedigree. Yes, the Chevrolet crossover had a lot to offer, but a price tag of 15 lakhs just didn't sit well with the general population of that time. It once again showed that buyers just weren't ready to shell out for a car with a foreign badge and that costs as much as a house in some parts of the country. Based on all the love and acceptance that Hyundai had garnered from India, they concluded that in the early 2000s, India was ready for the Terracan. It was the first of the big, brawny, ladder frame chassis wielding, full-size SUVs that we love today and preceded the mighty Fortuner by half a decade. This was a fairly confident and groundbreaking move by Hyundai at that time. It had a powerful 2.9-litre diesel engine that made 148 bhp and 383 Newton meters of torque. It was mated to a 5-speed transmission, it got a shift-on-fly all-wheel drive system and a limited slip differential. And for that time, it was luxurious too. Standard fitting included leather seats, automatic temperature control, electrically adjustable rear view mirror and a digital instrument console. Where they once reached the majority of Indian car buyers with the Santro, they were now aiming for the attention of the fairly well-to-do. And it arrived as a completely built-up unit from South Korea, and that factored in the price at just a shade under 20 lakh rupees. So while the company justified this move as product expansion, the customers weren't happy shelling out that much for what was essentially a Hyundai. And the Terracan, like other SUVs in our list, was taken at the back of the barn and shot in the head. So that was our quick list of SUVs that were launched ahead of their time but failed to make a mark. If you liked the video, give us a thumbs up and comment down below if you love any of these vehicles and have any interesting stories about them. So until then, if you want to see more of such videos, do hit the subscribe button and don't forget to hit the bell icon to be instantly notified.